Howdy. Man, what's going on, man? It's your boy Free. We back, man. We back at it, man. Another week at work. It's Friday. Fresh off. At it, man. At it. Been at work all week, working a little bit of overtime. You know how that is. Um, Trying to get some money, man. Trying to get some money, man. Trying to save some money. Trying to figure out my way, you know what I'm saying, to get this land. Put this house on this land. And put this garden on this land. All these dreams we got that I ain't gonna stop until we get. We trying to figure this out, man. That leads to a long week, especially when I'm working. So, man, I'm happy it's Friday, man. Got to and I'm in a camper, So what else you got me? What else you want me to say? We in the camper right now. So, and if you want to ask why, I said a camper, man. Like, one of them ones. We sold our house, man. 2 months ago, we sold our house. And we in a position now. We looking for some land, and in that pursuit of land, not trying to just settle on the first thing we get or trying to be thirsty. I'm a little bit concerned about the interest rates right now. I'm waiting on those to drop if they going to. Trump just got back in office, or he's supposed to be getting up in office here next month or something. I think it is. Yeah, the 20th next month. It's December 6th. So next month we're gonna see what's going on with them interest rates. It's hard to tell what's going on. I'm a man that like to follow up about policy. I like to keep up with all that stuff. Not necessarily politics, but policy. You know what I'm saying? The law, the economy, man. I'm big on that, man. The more I learn about that, the more I become interested in it. The more I want to know about it, the more I like following it. And that's what we're doing. So, I'm at work today, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, when it comes to a lot of these relationships and stuff, it's just the men, the men in the world. Like, what's stopping? What's stopping you from getting to where you want to be? You know what I'm saying? And when I be asking myself that, what's stopping me? Like, why am I still not happy with where I am in life? You know what I'm saying? Because I know I deserve more. Because I be like, man, when I think about it, I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm no regular person because I feel like I'm a winner. And when you feel like you a winner, you a winner. And in all areas, you always just in your mind, you like, it don't matter what I do. If I put my mind to it, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to win. And I think it's a lot of men walking around, and women. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people walking around with that win mentality. But it's something that's got that thing caged up. Like, I don't know, you're afraid of something. And whatever it is, you blaming that on, whether it's your relationship, which I think most people usually do. They blame a lot of their unhappiness on their relationship or what's holding them back in life on their relationship. Like for real, like, man, is it you or is it her? You know what I'm saying? Is it her? Is it you or is it him? You know what I'm saying? Like, who you gonna blame? Like, you can always blame them, but at the end of the day, you got to come back to yourself. Like, man, what are you actually doing? Like, do you look at yourself as a winner? And if you do, you like, man, you at whatever little dead end, probably not dead end, but whatever job, career you're in that, when I say dead end, I mean, like, you just gonna be there, and the end of that is retirement. Like, that's it. You can move up within that company, but you always know you're gonna be going to that job, that same probably location, unless you move around a little bit. Every day for the rest of your life until you retire, your work life at least. And man, that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes when you feel like you're a winner. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because eventually you're going to come to the question of like, man, am I supposed to be here? Like, if I actually had took a chance at something in my life or early on in my life, would I have wanted that? Because I feel like I've wanted so much in my life that I didn't really take the chance on the stuff that really mattered. If you see what I'm saying, like, if you, like, man, I look back at my life, man, I made some mistakes. So, I mean, and I look at them, they not mistakes because I think what I went through in life obviously shaped who I am today, and I would never take that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate my experience, but at the same time, and always, if I would look back and told me, if I had the mind I had now when I was young, I'm like, man, I'm a winner. Like, and I knew that when I was 18. I just knew I was gonna win in the wrong game, and I didn't understand why life kept smacking me down every time I tried to take off in that shit. Every time, bow, get right back down. Now you ain't doing it, bow. Sit down, man. Yeah, sit down for a second. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I sat down for a second. And you know, man, the mistakes, man, it costs you, man. It really do. It costs you a lot of time, man, a lot of time. But in that time, a lot of growth, depending on how you choose to spend that time. But man, if you go back, and I'm like, man, knowing I was a winner back when I was 18, because I won the whole time I was teenage, like, you know, I just always winning, man, in life. I feel like it's like, man, what if I had tried something spontaneous or something crazy that was productive, that was business minded, you know, when I was 18, 19, 20, instead of the stuff I was doing. Like, would I have wanted that? And even if I didn't, just having that mindset of knowing I'm going to win regardless of what I try. I might fall down a couple times, but I know I'm going to get up. And as long as I'm getting up, you know, I bang right back, bang right back. So it's like, man, when you at work, whatever type of relationship or situation you in, it's like, man, when you really ask yourself, man, like a lot of times, like I said, that blame game, they blame it on a bad relationship, why they not happy, bad job, bad this. Is it you? Is it her? Is it you? Is it your job? Is it you? Is it your relationship with your mom, your sister-in-law, your father-in-law, like whatever it is that you choosing to blame on life, something that happened when you was a kid, like, you know what I'm saying, racism, any of this shit, man, any of this shit, like any of this shit, man, like what you really gonna be blaming this shit on? Is like you always gonna be pointing everywhere, and as long as you got somewhere else to point, you ain't never gonna find nothing but more reasons of why you can blame people for shit not going right. But the moment you point that all that shit back at yourself and say, all right, regardless of whatever's happening in your life that's unfortunate, whether it's a bad relationship with your girl and you like, man, I just can't stand her, or she this, or whatever it is. It's like one is either you in a bad spot, or you with a bad person you're not compatible with, you probably should leave, you know what I'm saying? Or you just ain't no good. And she know you ain't no good, and she with you because you know you got the potential to, and every time she tell you that, you really get salty. You know what I'm saying? You don't like somebody telling you that because you like to blame other people. But the fact is, it's your motherfucking fault because what you doing every day. You know what I'm saying? You probably come home, I don't know, do the same routine. Usually most people come home, eat, drink, smoke, not all in that order, not all that stuff, but everybody got their own little, some people might come home, work out, and do something productive, but you go right back in there and you argue, go to bed. Do the same thing, and instead of chasing your dreams, like, instead of plugging some of that, you know, add in the phone, you know what I'm saying? Your phone, your social media, the TV. That's really the toxic stuff. Obviously working out, man, that shit, man, that's what releases your mind. But getting on social media, always seeing other people doing stuff that they not really doing. Man, I had to cut out my social media a couple years ago for real. Because, man, there was so many people that I knew that was on there faking. And I'm like, man, this shit's so fake, man. It's like, I can't get on here and fake because I feel like, man, if I get on here faking, somebody gonna call me out. But then I'm looking around, I see everybody on this motherfucker faking, and ain't nobody calling nobody out. And I'm like, what damn? Like, is this what's really going on? So I had to cut that shit out. And then when you cut that shit out and take a step back and look from the outside in at that world that people are existing in, you start realizing, like, man, all these people is keeping up these fake ass personas and shit that's not real, and that shit is stressful in itself. So letting go of that shit and just getting away from your social media, man, that's so beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so toxic. Especially the 99% of what people are seeing in their feed, which is just, you know, negativity. People they know is fake. You know what I'm saying? Just all kind of drama. And if you would flip that and be watching something productive, you know what I'm saying? Actually spending that time saying, man, I ain't watching no more videos, no more music that's not productive. I ain't watching a video unless it's productive about something that's motivational, something that's DIY or learning some new craft, learning some way that you can possibly turn that into a stream of income or something that you enjoy, that you could actually start taking your time back from stuff that actually is detrimental to you, which is, constantly seeing negativity, which is 90% of what we see on TV or when we see social media and all this other stuff. And you start looking at, man, when's the last time you thought about what hobby you got? What hobby you got? Like, outside of playing a video game, which takes you into an alternative reality when you're not even experiencing the beauty and the nature around you right here. Like, imagine having to go thinking you got to go outside of looking around everywhere. Like, man, looking at the beauty in this joint, dog, is so crazy, man. When you really start looking at the flowers, at the plants and all that shit, like, that's just a whole nother element in life. And it's like, man, you choose to take your time to, I'm saying, consume yourself in a lot of fakeism, which is social media, which is the internet. And, if you would just start replacing that with something productive, whether, like I said, learning something. I always replace that with something. Like, if you at work and you got 8 hours on shift and that whole time you got that earbud in your ear and you listen to music for 8 hours, imagine, man, let me challenge you. Let me ask you something. Imagine this. Imagine if you spent 6 months straight, say from now until, what was that, May or June. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna listen to no music at work. I'm gonna spend the next 8 hours a day. Every day I'm at work, we call this double dipping. That's what I call it double dipping. You know what I'm saying? If you at work listening to music, instead of doing that, you're supposed to be listening to a podcast that's teaching you something. Because, man, we could multitask like a motherfucker. So while you doing a job, getting paid for it, double dip on that job and go ahead and be learning a secondhand craft, right? That's how you maximize your potential and keep stacking that joint on top, and keep going, man. Keep adding tools to your motherfucking tool belt. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, while you getting paid to do one job, go ahead and learn a second and learn something. Try to start learning something that doesn't require as much physical labor. Like, we giving so much physical labor training growing up in school that, man, try to learn something that's not physical. When you get out in the real world and you start seeing all these people with money, you're like, how y'all get money? You start realizing jobs that you're not ever even exposed to in school. That's because it's jobs that doesn't require, it requires a skill. And once you gain that skill, then, so you in a select class, because a lot of people don't even know, it might take you 6 months to get that skill, but once you got it, it's only a select few people got it. And especially if you're in a rural area, you good now. But it's like, man, you could be learning so much, and instead we wasting our time, giving all our time to these record labels, this music that's not really teaching us nothing. And 90% of their music talking about alcohol, talking about drugs, talking about sex, talking about all kind of shit that at the end of the day is not really productive to us or what we want to do or what we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Now you plug that in. Imagine that 8 hours a day for 6 months on something productive. And that's learning something, learning how to do something new. And there's a million things you could be learning how to do. Hobbies, how to build bird houses if you want to, how to do the stock market, how to do anything, how to trade gold, and I mean physical gold, how to, what's actual good assets to hold, like what to do if you actually got $1 million, like where would you keep it? Like, it's so much stuff that we could be learning and should be learning, and we not taking advantage of our time. And we look up at 40 years old and say you come into some money, you're not even going to know how to actually handle it because you never properly prepared yourself for getting money. You know what I mean? But if you look back over all these years, look at you now, whatever age you are, it don't matter. Think in the last 5 years how many hours you spent listening to either music or television. And then equate that to, man, if I had used that time to be watching something that was productive, or listening to something in your ear that was productive, or teaching you a skill or a trade, man, you would be light years ahead of where you are now. And don't think today is too late to start for tomorrow. And that's the thing with planning and keeping that goal in mind that you want. Like, set a goal, sit in your mind, and say, I'm going to grind every day till I get it. And learn whatever it is you was told and you thought you could never do, man, do it. And know you're going to win at doing it. And that's why I'm like, realizing, like, man, you can really damn near control your reality out this joint when you really think about it. Because, yeah, like, given certain physical attributes, you can't create just, you can't naturally make yourself taller or nothing like that, or shorter or nothing like that. But as far as your physical capabilities, man, you'll have endless amounts of hobbies that you could take on that could possibly generate money, right? So it outside of sports, which outside of sports, anything, any type of skill or trade you could be learning that could be generating you income, man, why wouldn't you be doing that as opposed to listening to music or listening to the TV 3-4 hours a day in the evening, or spending an hour in the evenings on social media, unless it's all productive. Now, if you're doing that now, you on your way. Don't give up. Don't start grinding. But if you just happen to slide by this on some bullshit, man, just think about that question real quick. Like, what are you doing for tomorrow? And think about how much you wasted over the last couple of years listening to some bullshit. And that's just real. So, that's what we doing, man. Is it you? Is it her? Is it you? Is it your mom? Is it you? Is it your dad? Like, what is it? Who you gonna blame? I'ma always tell you it's you. I can't wait till we can get to having these live discussions on here. You know what I'm saying? With just about different people and their situations, and just, hey, is it you or is it them? Whatever it is, and let's figure it out. If you think it is you, I feel like I can tell you it's them. And if not, man, it's like I'ma always find the reason in me. That's all I'ma say. I don't care what situation I'm in. I'ma always figure out or look to see why. How could I have kept myself out of this situation? Like, did I miss something, or is this just a good lesson I gotta go through? I gotta figure out one of them two things. But the last thing I'm gonna do is blame you. That's the last damn thing I'm gonna do. All right, is blame you, blame them, blame anything. I'm gonna always take it back to me. All right, either you caught me slipping and you ain't gonna catch me no more, or whatever it is, man. That's what it is. But answer that, man. Let me know down in the comments down here. Whose fault is it, man? What situation do you think you got, right? That you got that it ain't your fault? And let's talk about why it is your fault. But yeah, man, it's all about accountability, man, motivation, man. It's your boy Free, man. Subscribe, man. Comment, like, man. Come talk to me, man. Let me know if I'm tripping, man. Yeah, man. Good weekend, man. Hope y'all have fun. Tap in, man. Holla at y'all.